So it was suggested by a YouTuber named Selim Koka that I do a reaction video concerning the recent revelation of alleged subterranean megastructures under the Giza complex, made visible by SAR, or synthetic aperture radar. I've watched a few videos and clips concerning the proposed discovery, though it is quite possible that, as usual, all of the information has not yet been disclosed. But as a quick summary, let's take a look at a clip from YouTuber You Won't Believe Me.
And this is what they found underneath the pyramid. It's basically 8 cylindrical poles, and it's kind of hard to see, so they recreated it using 3D models, and this is what it looks like. They're saying that these poles go down 648 meters, which is over 2,100 feet, and they're spiraled up with these coils. Now above this, there are 4 chambers, and on the very bottom, the poles split into these 2 cage-looking structures, and these structures are 80 by 80 meters long. I mean, this looks like some ancient technology that's being used to power something.
So at first glance, these titanic structures look curiously like vibrational elements to me. In particular, the 8 cylindrical poles, each surrounded by coiled structures, remind me of a concrete vibrating table as shown here. A vibrating table has the purpose of applying vibration to objects on its surface. As with the vibrating table, the Giza subterranean structures seem to have an upper platform. Upon this platform are 5 chambers or superstructures, and under are the 8 cylinders which descend 2,100 feet down, apparently terminating into 2 huge cubical structures that are each 80 meters long by 80 meters wide. And as they are cubes, then the height is also 80 meters, yielding a total volume of 512,000 cubic meters, or just over 18,081,000 cubic feet per cube. Just to give an idea of the sheer mass of these cubes, if they were solid granite, they would each weigh nearly 3 billion pounds, or about 1.5 million tons. Together they would weigh nearly 3 million tons, roughly half the weight of the entire Great Pyramid of Khufu, the largest of the Giza complex. Though these particular structures are actually under the Khafre Pyramid, which is the middle of the 3. But from the looks of it, the cubes are at least partly hollow. To give an idea of the area, 80 meters by 80 meters is 6,400 square meters, or 68,889 square feet. If we wanted to ascribe an area of 2 feet by 2 feet, or 4 square feet, for one person to be able to stand comfortably in, then at this square footage, about 17,222 people could comfortably stand within each of these cubes, 34,444 people total. By comparison, Madison Square Garden, one of the most famous arenas in the world, can seat 19,500 people. These figures give us some idea of the mind-boggling size and sheer massiveness of these structures. The collection of the subterranean structures has been described as a vast underground city. If all of this were definitively found to be true, I would be elated, but not really surprised. As the old saying goes, there's really nothing new under the sun. Today we are attempting to harness geothermal energy, and not just by using the subterranean heat to generate steam for turbines, but to actually convert the heat directly to electricity using the Seebeck effect of thermocouples. What if thousands of years ago people were attempting to harness geo-vibrational energy? Cylinders, whether solid or hollow, have vibrational properties that are well understood, as do compression coils. Super-megalithic cylinders and compression coils, as these seem to be, extending deep into the earth and sent into resonant vibration by seismic power, will be able to vibrate and oscillate with unfathomable amounts of acoustic energy, especially given that seismic vibrations in a given region are constant, though their frequencies and intensities can vary. If we look at the formula for the energy of a vibrating string, we see that its energy is directly proportional to its mass, and also directly proportional to the square of its frequency and the square of its amplitude, this energy being a combination of both kinetic energy and potential energy. We can only imagine the GigaJoules of energy that the mass of the cubes, the platform, and the superstructures on the platform would generate as they are sent into vibration by the Earth's seismic activity. As we already know, vibrational energy can be conducted via various types of conduits, such as tunnels. Sound can also travel through wires, cords, and strings. This underground city is said to have numerous interconnected tunnels and chambers. Could these conduit structures have accumulated and transmitted the vibrational energy from deep within the earth and conducted it throughout various parts of the city, as well as up to the surface? When we look at modern integrated microcircuits, they look just like miniaturized cities, with the capacitors and other circuit components resembling buildings, and the circuit paths, roads, and conduits. Could this subterranean complex at Giza be a giant macro circuit? One of the main questions is, what would this energy have been used for? Well, we've seen what acoustic energy can do on a small scale with miniature acoustic motors, micro levitation, acoustic cutting and drilling, shattering glass goblets, and water cavitation, etc. But if we can find a way to generate gigawatts worth of vibrational energy, all of these get scaled up by many orders of magnitude. With this amount of sonic power, many useful processes now become possible. Instead of miniature acoustic motors, you now get massive rotary grinders. Instead of levitating mere droplets of water and foam balls, you now get macro levitation. Acoustic lubrication has now increased to a level sufficient to enable you to push and pull multi-ton blocks of stone with one finger. Titanic surface acoustic waves can now even cause boulders to dance and coast along the ground on their own. Harnessing gigawatts, you now even have the ability of cutting the hardest stones, even pulverizing and liquefying them. Core drilling of diorite? No problem. Carving giant statues? No problem. If the structures were indeed built before the pyramids, it stands to reason that this vast geovibrational power would even have been employed to help build the pyramids themselves via the various means just mentioned. And if it is also true that geopolymer or ancient concrete was used alongside the natural stone, then these mega vibrations could also have been used to process the cement mix. Vibration platforms like the one here are used to refine cement mix by removing bubbles, rendering the concrete denser and stronger. Even some of the lesser known abilities of acoustic power also become practical. Powerful vibrations can generate light via the piezoelectric and triboluminescent effects, lighting up underground passageways with no soot residue. And if you so wish, you can also get the acoustic equivalent of a laser called the Saser, sound amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, a device that emits focused, coherent beams of sound waves analogous to how lasers emit focused beams of light. Researchers at the MIT Lincoln Laboratory have developed a technique that uses laser beams to send audible messages, music, or other sounds directly to a specific person's ear from a distance, using their photoacoustic effect. A similar feat can undoubtedly be achieved with the focused sound beam of a Saser. Further, a Saser activated at gigawatt power levels might just have as much destructive potential as a laser. It could even be argued that such massive metal coils moving up and down within the geomagnetic field would generate usable electricity through geomagnetic induction. Still, another lesser known property of vibrations is the ability to heat and cool via the thermoacoustic effect. Imagine the ability to heat and cool spaces in ancient times using sound vibrations. Again, different means could be used to conduct this energy from the ground, including shafts, pipes, and even wires, ropes, and cords, as we've seen with acoustic phones. Interestingly, a 1,200-year-old acoustic phone made from gourds and a 75-foot-long vine have been found in South America, proving that these principles were known much earlier than the modern era. Can we imagine an ancient civilization similar to ours in many ways, but using sound as its primary source of energy rather than electricity, transmitting this energy through a vast network of corridors and cords? To say that this is intriguing is an understatement, as huge as the proposed structures themselves. These are just my initial thoughts and speculations. A more detailed video will be forthcoming as more data is released. Stay tuned.